Hey there, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to show you how you can produce heavy rhythm dubstep in 2026. So let's get right into it. Quick note, but please don't tell anyone. I rendered out all the sounds from asteroid, all the basses, all the textures I created for this sound in particular, and put them together in a sample pack, including 79 sounds. So let me quickly show you some sounds, and later on I will show how you can make these sounds yourself. These are the signature sounds from asteroid. We also have insane mud piles, which I made for this song. I think this one is like 90 seconds long. So you get tons of material to resample. Reese textures. These tonal ones, one of my favorites, and lots of miscellaneous stuff. Let's get into it. Let's start with the drums. In this song, I used the drums from dveight, which he gave us in his EP on Sounds of Mayhem in 2024. And they just work perfectly. Kick, and we have the snare. And I did some processing with a transient shaper and a little bit of clipping on the snare. And the group is also being clipped. For variation, we also have some reversed kicks and some claps coming in later here and there, just as an additional layer. We also have some heads going on. And together the drums are sounding like this. So nothing crazy, simple rhythm drums. The main sound in this song is this one right here. We have basically just two layers. The sub bass and the tonal layer. So let's quickly disable all the processing we have on everything, on the group and on the individual sounds. Without any processing, it sounds like this. So we have the sub bass and we have the tonal layer. And the sub bass is basically just a sine. I rendered out a sine with some noise and arranged it in this way. The other layer is this tonal layer right here. And this was basically just a resampled sound I made, which sounded like this. And this is also included in the free sample pack I told you. So you can just use this and recreate it if you want to. I took this, arranged it in a cool rhythm I liked, and added processing to then glue everything together in this group right here. And the processing on this sound is starting with an EQ. So I basically just cut out all the low end. And then we have a parallel chain going on. And this one is sounding really, really harsh and noisy, I know, but it's important for the gluing later on. So we have a parallel chain with the tri chain and also just with this auto filter, which is doing this weird modulation. I'm using the LFO here with this really fast rate and it's creating this really, really annoying high end, but we will compensate for that later on. Then we have an EQ again. A multipass, which isn't doing anything right here. I don't know what this one was doing. An EQ. Utility, which wasn't doing anything. Then this rec I used by virtual riot. So it's basically just enhancing the higher mids a little bit. And some serum FX, which isn't also doing anything right now because I'm doing an automation here and it's only being triggered later on. The significant processing is happening on the group. The sub bass just has a little EQ. I just want to boost the fundamental a little bit. Now we can go to the major processing, which is happening in the group. And this is the most important step. So let's start with the first step. The first step was a multipass, which was basically just an audio following, automating the gain and cranking it up really, really heavily, plus 6 decibels. This looks a little bit illegal, but it's doing the job later on in a really, really good way and creating that really gnarly and gritty texture we want. So this was the first step. I know it does not sound right, but later on it will. Then we have some spectral compression by Nasko, the N-Spec Complied. This is one of the first versions he put out, and nowadays he has a different version called Specom. It's a spectral compressor, which is my favorite tool ever created. And I use this version right here to just compress everything a little bit and compensate for that really, really annoying high end. And now you can also hear that the high end we had earlier is being dug down with the compressor here. Then we have a disperser, just creating some nice dispersed feel in the sub-bass region. An erosion for more grittiness. The erosion is contributing a lot to this gnarly feel of the bass. Another multipass with a filter and some saturation. And also some bias. The bias is doing a crazy job right here. Without the distortion. And yeah, with the distortion. So shout out kilohearts. And more disperser, but this processing is only happening in the lower region, like beneath 250 Hz. After that, we have an EQ with a notch going on. And now a parallel chain, which is basically just a parallel reverb chain, once with the dry signal and with a wet signal. And I used the reverb here, the Ableton reverb, some OTT, the legacy autopan, some more EQing, and that's it. Just make everything a little bit wider and give it some density. After that, some more EQing. Just some mid-side EQing. It's not doing that much. I thought this would actually make the sound a little bit better. Later on, we have an echo, which is just being automated for the transitions. And a clipper at the end, a soft clipper with some gain, and a washout rack also for transitioning, and another clipper at the end. Since I made the song last year and lots of things have changed in how I do the productions nowadays, I would not use clippings anymore on the individual channels. I would just use a clipper once on my master chain, but for this song it was necessary because the processing before was a little bit messy and not that clean, but this helped a lot making it clean and tight. And this is how you can create a cool rhythm sound. You only basically need one sound and a sub bass and then process them together in a nice and creative way. Later on, we have this bass right here, which was a render of my 3 vital growl samples I put out last year. And I just resampled those. Also with this auto filter technique I showed earlier, some disperser and some echo for the transitions. And this one also did a nice job here at the end of a phrase. Just for some variation. I basically just took a different sound instead of this one I showed earlier and used it for some nice variation at the end of each phrase. Later on, we have this tonal thing, which was also a resample of this sound. And it's just a stretched and high-pitched version of it. So you can basically get infinite variations out of one sound and just stretch them, pitch them to get these really, really cool and messy textures. But then the processing will control everything in a tight way like I did here. So this one is really, really nice. We also have this variation, which was a section from my MudPie. I'm also giving away in the free sample pack. So you can also get this sound plus many more from the MudPie. You can basically make all your future songs out of my MudPie I'm giving you right now. Don't be lazy. Also make MudPies yourself because it's really, really good. But I hope this can inspire you. And also I added some fills here and there, like these cool sounds. This is also one of the reese textures I showed earlier, and this is also available in the sample pack, this sound. And we have these sounds. I don't know exactly how I made this one. You will find this in the sample pack as well, but it was some crazy processing and also corpus and distortion, compression, doing all this kinds of stuff to create a really, really nice and futuristic sound. However, there's one more thing we have to consider in a rhythm tune in 2026. I think it's really important that we have some background sounds to just fill out the empty space. And therefore, I can always recommend to you throwing in samples you like and samples you think would fit in the context of your song. Like this kerosene cymbal sound, just for more high-end. This joeb sound in the background, you can barely hear it, but it just adds some more density and widening to it. Then some cool fillers by kerosene. This also had some more processing involved. I used it in a reversed way for a transition. Some crowd cheers are resampled just for more noise in the background. All kinds of different samples like this joeb and Noah sample and this one to just sprinkle in some ear candy here and there. It's always a nice way to fill out your tracks. And once you have completed everything, you can create a rhythm drop, which sounds like this at the end. And this one is also perfect for doubles because the rhythm isn't that complex actually, and you can double it with track that up and all these crazy rhythm anthems. And yeah, the final result sounds like this. Let me know what you think of this in the comments. Don't forget to grab the free sample pack, which I'm attaching in the comments and which you can find on my SoundCloud as well. And you can also stream the full song on all streaming services. It's out now. It's called Asteroid. It's the second single of my upcoming Alien Ambush EP. So definitely check it out if you like rhythm and dubstep in general. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Have a great day and goodbye.